Only on Adult Swim.
In 2006 at Channel 101, I made a short called The Real Animated Adventures of Doc and Marty.
Don't be sad, Marty. We'll go back in time, and we'll make sure that your kite doesn't get stuck in the tree. All right, Doc, that sounds great.
I had fallen in love throughout the course of making that cartoon with the voices of the two characters. I kept using those voices and things.
You know what she said to me?
Oh, Reggie, what'd she say, man?
Tell her what she said. Mitchell, I'm trying to do science in the basement, Mitchell.
Harmon calls me and he's like, hey, Adult Swim is asking me about an animated project. Do you have anything? Like, do you have any ideas? I'm like, well, what about, what about those characters?
I think we got as far as an animatic, and the animatic went over to Cartoon Network, and the thoughts coming back were, this is great in this way and that way and that way, and by the way, I think we should cast Morty. I don't think Justin should do both voices.
I just felt, wow, I don't like Morty. I really like Rick, but while Morty's funny for a couple minutes, I'm gonna get really tired of this. That was initially read as, could you recast Morty?
And I was like, fuck, okay. Because like I knew for me a big part of the show was like riffing back and forth with the character, doing both characters.
So Justin was terrified.
I know Justin was freaked out.
Harmon gave me really good advice. He's like, let's just see this through and let's see what happens.
We auditioned just 1 billion people.
I remember we submitted our top 3 and Lazo didn't like any of them. He was like, these are all just as bad. And we were like, okay, we got to get on the phone with Lazo.
I dreaded that phone call because I was like, man, now I'm thinking this is it because like everything's gonna fall apart. Mike Lazo's on the phone and I haven't worked with him that much, and he gets to the meat of it, which is like, it's not the voice, it's the fact that the character is such a punching bag.
I made a dinosaur! You made a dinosaur! Oh, I made a dinosaur! Oh, Morty, what did you think was gonna happen, Morty? That thing makes dinosaurs when you touch it, Morty! I made a dinosaur!
He was designed to be a stupid machine so that Rick could cuss at him. That's okay for 5 minutes, but if you're gonna make 10 half hours, it's not gonna work.
On that call, I said, listen, let me take another crack at the character. And he's like, that's fine, go for it. I started workshopping scenes. Harmon wrote me an email with like all these little paragraphs. So all of these scenes need to illustrate him standing up to Rick, because that never happened in the original pilot script, not once.
And one of them was they're in a flying car and Rick is drunk and he's gonna destroy the world with a neutron bomb.
She's probably nothing but trouble anyways.
Arming neutrino bomb.
That's it, Rick! I'm taking the wheel! Get off of me, Morty! I'm taking charge of this situation, buddy! What's gotten into you? I'm pooped! You love me so much, why don't you stand around like some sort of dumb... What are you, crazy? Just let you run the whole world? All right, Morty, all right. I'll land.
I get a call at like 8 in the morning. It wakes me up and it's fucking 415 area code. I'm like, oh shit, this is Adult Swim. So I answer it and it's Lazo. And he's like, all right, I watched the stuff. All right, you got it. You can do Morty. And I'm like, fuck, okay, holy shit.
Morty, to me, is one of the deepest characters in the show now because he has to deal with the most, and he, in essence, is the audience. When I watch Rick and Morty, I am Morty.
It's funny because it's like, it was one of the worst crises to happen in the history of Rick and Morty's development, the potential of Justin not doing both voices, and it was the greatest thing that happened. It was this final puzzle piece.
I mean, listen, it is humbling to see how big this machine has gotten. Like, there are times where I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? It started out as me making dumb cartoons with my friends in my apartment, and now it's me making dumb cartoons with hundreds of amazing people.
I've seen some of the episodes 10 times. They don't get old. I mean, that's the basis of great entertainment. I want to see it again.
I mean, it really is cool to think back about how it all began. The best thing about it is that it proves a certain religion right, which is be yourself, work with your friends, don't tell jokes that don't make you laugh, don't tell stories that don't make you cry, and everything else is going to come out in the wash. Otherwise, what good is capitalism if it can't figure out what's awesome? I don't know. I'm babbling at the end. Can't even do my fucking documentary interview right.
Hey everybody, new Rick and Morty. They're dropping all kinds of promos before the finale and talking about how it all got started.
But the cool thing about this promo is a lot of you might have realized that it sounds familiar because they talk about it on the commentary track for the first episode. So that's the whole reason for buying the DVDs, which is probably what I'll do the giveaway for once the season's over. We don't actually know when that's going to drop, but it's usually about 6 months after the season's end. But if you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. The finale is going to be crazy this weekend. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff that you actually get from this. You get Mike Lazo, who's sort of like the Jedi Master of Adult Swim. If there's any Adult Swim shows that you've loved in the last several years, chances are he's the reason they're on the air. So he's sort of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi to the young Jedi Padawans that are Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon, depending on how you feel about it. But the big story is that Justin Roiland almost didn't do the voice of Morty, and they had to retool the show just a little bit, because when they first pitched it to him, there was a lot more "oh geez" Morty and a lot less assertive Morty.
Oh, geez. Hey, what's going on, fellas? Oh, geez, man. Nothing, man. We're just hanging out and stuff. I hear that. Oh, geez. I guess I'm supposed to be figuring out who robbed the store across the street, but oh, geez, I don't know. Oh, geez, man. That sucks that your Rick's making you do that. He's not my Rick. He's my partner. Oh, geez.
So that's why the intro for that first episode plays the way it does, where he takes over the ship and has to land it because Rick gets too drunk, to show him as more of a counterbalance, rather than someone that Rick actually just takes around with him because of the Morty waves, which is probably one of the best explainers for why he's with Rick, even though it's not completely true.
What are you talking about, Rick?
Ricks have a very distinctive and traceable brainwave due to our genius. The best way to hide from an enemy's radar is to stand near someone with complementary brainwaves that make ours invisible. See, when a Rick is with a Morty, the genius waves get canceled out by the, Morty waves.
But the other cool thing about this is that you get a better look behind the scenes. If you've never been to the Rick and Morty offices, which most people haven't, this is actually what the writer's room looks like. Although this isn't everybody that works on the show, this is actually a picture of the whole crew watching the finale Justin Roiland posted last night while he was staying up trying to get himself a Super Nintendo, which I guess wasn't successful. It's so fun to watch them get psyched up about stuff in real life. Like Dan Harmon gets really psyched up about Game of Thrones, Justin Roiland gets really psyched up about video games. But let me know in the comments, how do you guys feel about all the extra bonus content they've been dropping for episodes this year? This is normally stuff you would see them do for the DVD, like they would have some special featurette for each of the episodes. But I think it's really cool they've been posting these as the episodes have been dropping. But like I said, with those special stories where they talk about how things came together behind the scenes, that's really the reason why you buy the DVDs, so you get those commentaries. And some of the stories are a little bit funnier than others. Sometimes they get really drunk when they're doing the commentaries. There was even one partway through season 1, maybe it was season 2, where Justin got so drunk and said something that sounded like it was really funny, but might have got them in a whole lot of trouble.
This is one of our special edition redo commentaries, where we already recorded the commentary for this episode, but Justin was too drunk.
Way too drunk.
Yeah.
And said some things that would probably
I mean, I said
get
things
him in trouble.
tongue in cheek. But I did say things. You know, I crossed the line. I went a little nuts.
It's not about anything that was said. It's about
the audience.
We try to strike a balance between, oh, I'm listening to everybody. Isn't this great? Peek behind the curtain to the curtain kind of falling on your head and injuring you.
But what'll happen is because I wasn't expecting this, I have another Rick and Morty video that I'll post this weekend before the finale, so just leave all your requests in the comments below. And if you haven't seen my previous videos, I will be doing bonus videos each week while we wait for season 4 to get here, and I might try to do an audience participation Q&A type video after the finale too, like I would normally do for Game of Thrones. But congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Jonathan Sandlin. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. There'll be a new round when I post new Rick and Morty. So you can click here for more finale, and you can click here to learn all about Rick's wife. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.